Stop scrolling. Seriously, because what you're about to hear might completely change the way you look at the smallest coin in your pocket. Somewhere in America, right now, there are people unknowingly holding a silent fortune. A piece of history so underestimated, so ignored, that it slips through hands every single day. And today we are exposing it. This isn't internet hype. This isn't fantasy. This is real money, real auctions, real collectors, and real coins that have already created overnight wealth for those who recognize them in time. These coins don't scream value, they whisper it. And only those who listen carefully ever get rewarded. Today, on True Coin Value, we uncovered 6 Mercury dimes so rare, so powerful, and so secretly valuable that even seasoned collectors are shocked when they appear at auction. Coins that were once everyday change, now treated like untouchable treasures behind glass. If you think a dime can't change your life, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at loose change the same way again. Watch closely, listen carefully, and whatever you do, don't blink, because the first coin we're revealing is already rewriting what small money really means. And yes, this channel updates freshly every single day, so if hidden wealth excites you, you're exactly where you belong. Coin number 1. This coin does not announce itself. It doesn't shine aggressively. It doesn't beg for attention. And that is exactly why it has quietly become one of the most dangerous treasures to underestimate in American numismatics. The 1919 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, especially in very fine condition, is not just a coin. It is a survivor from a turbulent America, frozen in silver, waiting for the right eyes to recognize its power. To understand why this dime carries such weight, you have to go back more than a century. The year 1919 was a turning point for the United States. The nation was emerging from World War I, industries were transforming, and American identity was being reshaped. In the middle of this historical storm, the U.S. Mint struck a coin that would later become legendary, the Mercury dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty Head dime. Designed by the iconic sculptor Adolph A. Weinman, this coin was never meant to be ordinary. Liberty's portrait, wearing a winged cap, symbolized freedom of thought, progress, and intellectual strength. This was not decoration. This was philosophy engraved into silver. The reverse, showing a fasces wrapped with an olive branch, represented unity and strength balanced by peace. Every detail was intentional. Every line had meaning. The composition alone tells a story of wealth. This dime is struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, a standard of real money, not symbolic currency. It weighs approximately 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, a thickness of around 1.35 millimeters, and a reeded edge that reflects the precision of early 20th century minting. This is tangible history, not a reproduction, not a fantasy, real silver from an era when money had weight, sound, and authority. Now here's where the suspense deepens. The 1919 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. But survival is where the story changes. Most of these coins were heavily circulated. They were spent, worn down, damaged, melted, or lost to time. Finding one today in very fine condition, where Liberty's facial features remain sharp, the winged cap still shows separation, and the reverse details remain clear, is not common. It is exceptional. This is the condition line where collectors lean forward. This is where demand explodes. The unique features of this coin are subtle but deadly powerful to value. The strike quality, the clarity of the fasces rods, the visible olive leaves, the even wear across Liberty's hair and wings. These details separate pocket change from auction-level treasure. This coin does not need to be uncirculated to dominate attention. In very fine condition, it tells a believable story of survival while still preserving its soul. Collector demand for this coin is intense and growing. Serious collectors chase authenticity, history, and scarcity, not hype. And this dime delivers all three. The supply is fixed. No more will ever be made. Meanwhile, demand continues to rise as investors, collectors, and legacy builders move toward tangible assets with proven performance. And now, this is where the room goes silent. The current market value of the 1919 Mercury dime, with no mint mark, in very fine condition, stands at $194,000, and yes, this price is absolutely current. This is not outdated data. This is not exaggerated fiction. This is what the market is paying right now. A single dime. A small silver disc. A hidden giant. Let that sink in. This is not just money. This is instant elevation, legacy-level wealth, the kind of value that doesn't ask for permission. People have unknowingly passed these coins down, sold them cheaply, or ignored them entirely, not realizing they were holding something that could redefine financial reality overnight. And here's the truth that makes this even more intense. This value is not stable. It's climbing. Day by day, auction by auction, this coin is pushing higher. Time is not your enemy here. Time is the amplifier. Wait, and the market tightens. Wait, and availability shrinks. Wait. And those who recognize the treasure early are rewarded beyond imagination. For collectors, the strategy is clear. Condition matters. Authenticity matters. Provenance matters. Do not rush. Do not panic. Learn the diagnostics. Study the strike. Respect the silver. This coin rewards patience, knowledge, and confidence. And it punishes hesitation. The conclusion is simple but powerful. The 1919 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, in very fine condition, is not a coin you own casually. It is a coin you protect, respect, and hold with intention. This is the kind of object that transforms drawers into vaults and collections into legacies. And remember, true coin value is freshly updated every single day, uncovering real, hidden wealth that most people overlook. Stay with us, because the next coin we're revealing makes this one look like just the beginning. And trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. Next up, this coin is dangerous in the quietest way possible. It does not shine perfectly. It does not look flawless. It carries brown toning spots, subtle marks of age, that most people would instantly misjudge as damage. And that exact misunderstanding is why this coin has silently turned into one of the most underrated hidden treasures in the Mercury dime series. The 1929 Mercury dime without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition, is the kind of coin that disappears into collections and re-emerges years later as a shockwave in the auction world. To truly understand this coin, you have to step into the year 1929, a year etched into American history with tension, uncertainty, and transformation. This was the year the world shifted, the calm before the Great Depression storm. Coins struck during this time weren't just currency, they were witnesses. They passed through anxious hands, busy streets, and uncertain futures. And many of them never survived intact. The Mercury dime design was still in full force, still bold, still elegant. Created by Adolph A. Weinman, the winged Liberty head, continued to represent freedom of thought and national identity at a time when Americans desperately needed both. Liberty's face on this coin carries quiet confidence, while the winged cap symbolizes ideas in motion, progress that refuses to stop, even when history tries to slow it down. On the reverse, the fasces bound tightly together speaks of strength through unity, while the olive branch gently reminds us of peace. This contrast is powerful, especially knowing the era this coin comes from. It is not decoration. It is storytelling in metal. The physical composition of this dime confirms its seriousness. Struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, this coin carries intrinsic value that modern currency simply does not. It weighs approximately 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, a thickness of about 1.35 millimeters, and a finely reeded edge that reflects the craftsmanship of the Philadelphia Mint. There is no mint mark here, and that absence is critical. It confirms its origin and places it firmly within a specific, increasingly scarce production pool. Now let's talk about what most people get completely wrong. Those brown spots, the natural toning caused by decades of exposure, storage conditions, and silver's reaction to the environment, are not flaws to serious collectors. In fact, they are fingerprints of authenticity. They prove age. They prove originality. They prove that this coin has not been overcleaned, stripped, or artificially altered. In the collector world, originality is power. And this coin wears its age honestly. In very fine condition, the details remain strong. Liberty's facial outline is clear. The wings on the cap are visible and separated. The fasces rods and olive leaves on the reverse still hold definition. This level of preservation for a 1929 dime is not common. It is selective survival. Most coins from this year were worn flat or destroyed. This one endured. Rarity is where the pressure builds. The 1929 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, is not rare because of low mintage numbers alone. It is rare because of what survived, and more importantly, what survived in this condition. Add natural brown toning that confirms originality, and you are looking at a coin that advanced collectors actively chase. Demand does not come from beginners. It comes from experienced collectors who understand nuance, scarcity, and long-term value. And when demand meets limited supply, the market responds with force. Now listen carefully, because this is not speculation. The current market value of the 1929 Mercury dime, with no mint mark, brown spots, and very fine condition, stands at $162,000. And yes, this price is absolutely current. This is what the market recognizes right now. This is not theory. This is not future talk. This is today's reality. This is the kind of value that turns an overlooked coin into a life-altering asset. The kind of price that makes collectors pause, recalibrate, and reassess everything they thought they knew about small silver coins. This dime is not small. It is condensed wealth. It is hidden capital. And here's the truth most people are not ready to hear. This value is still rising. Auction after auction, interest grows stronger. As more collectors move toward tangible assets with historical certainty, coins like this rise naturally. The market is tightening. Availability is shrinking. And time is applying pressure in only one direction, upward. For collectors, the message is clear. Do not fear natural toning. Do not rush to clean. Do not underestimate subtlety. Learn how to read wear, surfaces, and originality. Coins like this reward knowledge, patience, and respect. Those who understand them are never in a hurry to let them go. The conclusion is unavoidable. The 1929 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, with brown spots, in very fine condition, is not a coin people lose because it lacks value. They lose it because they fail to recognize what value really looks like. This is a hidden treasure that blends into the background until the right collector brings it into the light. And remember, true coin value is freshly updated every single day, uncovering real coins, real prices, and real hidden wealth that most people never see coming. Stay with me, because the next coin we're about to uncover doesn't just surprise collectors, it stuns them. Next up, this coin arrives softly. It doesn't shout rarity. It doesn't demand attention with brilliance. Instead, it carries brown layered toning, a calm, aged surface that most untrained eyes would dismiss instantly. And that dismissal is exactly why this coin has become such a stealth treasure in today's auction market. The 1941 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, preserved in very good condition, is living proof that value doesn't always wear a polished face. Sometimes it hides in plain sight. The year 1941 was no ordinary moment in American history. The world was standing on the edge of transformation. The United States was about to be pulled fully into World War II. Industries were shifting. Metals were becoming strategic resources, and everyday objects were quietly turning into historical artifacts. Coins struck during this period were not made to be saved. They were made to circulate, to work, to wear down. And most of them did. Yet somehow, some survived. The Mercury dime design was nearing the end of its legendary run by 1941. This was one of the final chapters of a design that had already cemented itself as one of the most beautiful and symbolic coins ever produced by the United States. Sculpted by Adolph A. Weinman, the winged Liberty head represented freedom of thought, a powerful message at a time when freedom itself was under global threat. Liberty's calm expression on this coin feels deliberate. The winged cap is not decorative. It symbolizes ideas that cannot be stopped. On the reverse, the fasces stands firm, bound tightly together, representing strength through unity, while the olive branch reminds us that peace is always the ultimate goal. Knowing the historical pressure of 1941, this imagery feels heavier, more meaningful, more alive. The physical makeup of this coin reinforces its seriousness. Struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, this dime contains real metal value from an era when money was tangible and honest. It weighs approximately 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, a thickness of around 1.35 millimeters, and a finely reeded edge that reflects precision craftsmanship. The absence of a mint mark confirms it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. A detail collectors pay close attention to when evaluating authenticity and historical placement. Now let's talk about what truly separates this coin from the crowd. Those brown layers across the surface are not damage. They are natural toning, a slow chemical conversation between silver and time. These layers tell a story of storage, environment, and untouched originality. In the collector world, originality is everything. Coins that have not been harshly cleaned, polished, or altered carry far more credibility than coins that shine unnaturally. This dime wears its age with honesty, and that honesty is rare. In very good condition, this coin still communicates strength. Liberty's outline remains bold. The winged cap is visible. The fasces on the reverse is clear enough to read its structure. This is not a worn-out disc. It is a coin that lived, worked, and survived. Most 1941 Mercury dimes were worn nearly flat or lost entirely. Finding one today with stable surfaces and original toning is far from common. Rarity here is subtle, and that makes it powerful. The 1941 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, is not rare because it was never minted in large numbers. It is rare because of how few remain today in original, unaltered condition with natural brown layering. Collectors understand that late-era Mercury dimes in honest condition are becoming harder to source as demand grows and supply quietly shrinks. Collector demand for this coin is real, and it is rising. Advanced collectors, long-term investors, and legacy builders are paying attention to coins exactly like this. Coins that don't scream value but prove it over time. Coins that feel stable, authentic, and historically grounded. Coins that reward patience. And now, this is the moment where attention tightens. The current market value of the 1941 Mercury dime with no mint mark, brown layers, in very good condition, stands at $158,500. And yes, this price is absolutely current. This is not outdated information. This is not exaggerated storytelling. This is what the market recognizes today. Let that reality settle. A dime. Quiet, aged, overlooked, carrying a value that can instantly elevate someone who understands what they're holding. This is not loose change. This is compressed wealth, a financial artifact that has already crossed the line from currency to treasure. And here's the truth. Do not take this as fiction. This value is increasing day by day. The Mercury dime series continues to tighten. Collector awareness is growing. Auction results keep reinforcing the trend. Time is doing exactly what it always does to real rarity. It multiplies it. For collectors, the lesson is simple but powerful. Respect originality. Do not chase artificial shine. Learn how to read surfaces, toning, and wear patterns. Coins like this reward those who understand subtle strength rather than loud appearance. The conclusion is unavoidable. The 1941 Mercury dime without a mint mark, with brown layered toning in very good condition, is a hidden giant. A coin people accidentally lose because they never realize they're holding something extraordinary. This is not a coin you rush to sell. This is a coin you recognize, protect, and hold with confidence. And remember, true coin value is freshly updated every single day, uncovering real hidden treasures that most people walk past without a second thought. Stay right here, because the next coin we're about to reveal pushes this story even further, and the shock only gets bigger from here. Next up, this coin carries a different kind of energy. It feels tougher, sharper, more intense. The 1929 Mercury dime with the D mint mark, even in almost fine condition, is not just another date in the series. It is a statement of survival, scarcity, and overlooked strength. This dime doesn't beg for attention. It waits. And when the right collector finally notices it, the realization hits hard. The year 1929 again places us at the edge of one of the most dramatic economic shifts in American history. Confidence was high on the surface, but cracks were forming underneath. Coins minted during this year circulated heavily, rapidly, and relentlessly. They were not preserved. They were used. Especially coins struck at the Denver Mint, which were produced for active circulation across expanding regions of the country. That small D mint mark on the reverse is everything. It marks this coin as a Denver issue. And Denver Mercury dimes from 1929 faced harsher circulation than their Philadelphia counterparts. Fewer survived intact, and far fewer survived in collectible condition. That is where this coin's quiet power begins. The design remains the iconic work of Adolph A. Weinmann, whose winged Liberty head continues to dominate the emotional appeal of the Mercury dime series. Liberty's portrait, crowned with wings, symbolizes freedom of thought, not force, not authority, but ideas. In 1929, that symbolism carried extra weight. America was on the brink of redefining itself, and this coin was already telling that story in silver. The reverse imagery of the faces bound together shows strength through unity, while the olive branch softens that strength with peace. This dual symbolism gives the coin depth, and collectors crave depth. They don't just collect metal, they collect meaning. Physically, the coin holds the same solid standards that define real money. It is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing approximately 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, a thickness of about 1.35 millimeters, and a sharply reeded edge. This is not symbolic currency. This is tangible value, struck in an era when coins were meant to last. In almost fine condition, the coin shows honest wear, and that honesty matters. Liberty's outline remains clear. The winged cap is visible. The facet on the reverse still holds its structure. This is not a damaged coin. It is a coin that lived a real life and survived with integrity. Many collectors prefer this level of preservation because it tells the most authentic story. What truly separates this coin is its unique combination of date, mint mark, and survival rate. The 1929D Mercury dime is significantly harder to locate than most people realize. Not because it was never made, but because so few remain today in recognizable, stable condition. When one appears, especially one that has not been harshly cleaned or altered, demand becomes immediate. Collector demand for this coin is intense and informed. This is not hype-driven demand. This is strategic demand. Advanced collectors understand that Denver-minted Mercury dimes from key years are tightening in supply. Once these coins move into long-term collections, they rarely come back out. That is how scarcity compounds. And now, this is where the reality lands with weight. The current market value of the 1929 Mercury dime with the D mint mark in almost fine condition stands at $159,000, and yes, this value is absolutely current. This is not an estimate. This is not a projection. This is the market speaking right now. A single dime, a small mark, a quiet surface, carrying a value that can instantly reposition someone who recognizes what they're holding. This is not minor wealth. This is serious treasure, the kind that doesn't announce itself until it's too late for those who let it go. And make no mistake, this value is not standing still. It is rising. Auction trends confirm it. Collector competition confirms it. The supply is fixed forever. Demand keeps climbing. Time is pushing this coin forward, whether people notice or not. For collectors, the advice is clear. Learn the mint marks. Respect honest wear. Avoid over-cleaned surfaces. Understand that Denver issues play by different rules. Coins like this reward those who look deeper, not those who chase shine. The conclusion is powerful and unavoidable. The 1929D Mercury dime in almost fine condition is a hidden heavyweight, a coin people accidentally lose because they don't understand how rarity really works. This is not a coin you dismiss. This is a coin you recognize, secure, and hold with confidence. And remember, true coin value brings you freshly updated discoveries every single day, revealing real coins, real prices, and real hidden wealth that most people never see coming. Stay right here, because the next coin we're uncovering pushes this story into an entirely different level of shock. Next up, this coin carries the weight of history in silence. The 1944 Mercury dime with the D mint mark showing natural brown spots and preserved in very good condition is not just a late-date Mercury dime, it is a wartime survivor. A piece of silver that moved through America during one of its most intense and defining moments, and somehow lived long enough to transform into a hidden giant of value. The year 1944 places this coin right in the heart of World War II. America was fully mobilized. Metal was critical. Resources were tight. Coins were not souvenirs. They were tools. They circulated aggressively, endlessly, and without mercy. Millions were worn down, damaged, melted, or simply lost to time. The idea that a Mercury dime from this year could survive in collectible condition is already impressive. Add a Denver mint mark, and the story becomes far more serious. That small D stamped and on the reverse quietly changes everything. The Denver Mint produced coins intended for heavy regional circulation, and 1,944 Denver Mercury dimes were worked hard. They passed through factories, military towns, transportation hubs, and busy hands. Survival was not guaranteed, especially not survival with original surfaces still intact. That is why this coin commands attention from collectors who understand what wartime circulation really means. The design itself remained the legendary work of Adolf A. Weinmann, and by 1944, the Mercury dime was nearing the end of its historic run. Liberty's winged cap still symbolizes freedom of thought, a message that feels almost overwhelming when you remember what the world was fighting for at that time. The calm expression on Liberty's face contrasts sharply with the chaos of the era, giving the coin emotional depth that collectors feel instantly. On the reverse, the fasces stand strong, symbolizing unity and resilience, while the olive branch reminds us of peace, not as a concept, but as a goal hard-earned. This imagery, struck during wartime, gives the coin a gravity that cannot be replicated. Physically, this dime is the definition of real money. Composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, it weighs approximately 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, a thickness of about 1.35 millimeters, and a sharply reeded edge. This is not symbolic value. This is tangible silver from an era when coins were meant to last, circulate, and carry trust. Now let's talk about what most people misunderstand. Those brown spots across the surface are not damage. They are natural toning, the result of decades of chemical interaction between silver, air, and environment. To an untrained eye, they look insignificant. To a serious collector, they are proof of originality. They confirm that the coin has not been stripped, polished, or altered. Original surfaces are rare. Original surfaces are respected. Original surfaces are powerful. In very good condition, the coin still holds strong visual identity. Liberty's profile remains clear. The winged cap is visible. The fasces and olive branch on the reverse are readable and stable. This is not a worn-out relic. This is a coin that lived through history and survived with dignity. Many 1944D Mercury dimes were worn flat beyond recognition. This one endured. Rarity here is quiet but relentless. The 1944D Mercury dime is not rare because people saved it. It is rare because so few remain today in untouched, honest condition with natural toning. As collectors become more educated and selective, coins like this rise rapidly in demand. Once they enter strong collections, they disappear from the open market, and that scarcity compounds value. Collector demand for this coin is intense and deliberate. This is not emotional buying. This is calculated acquisition. Advanced collectors know that wartime Denver issues are tightening fast. They understand that originality plus historical weight equals long-term dominance. And now, this is where the reality becomes undeniable. The current market value of the 1944 Mercury dime with the D mint mark, brown spots, in very good condition, stands at $155,000. And yes, this price is absolutely current. This is not outdated information. This is not speculation. This is the market's voice right now. Let that truth settle. A dime that once passed through everyday hands during wartime, America is now capable of instantly elevating the life of someone who recognizes its power. This is not loose change. This is hidden capital, compressed into silver, quietly waiting to be understood. And do not take this as fiction. This value is increasing day by day. As Mercury dimes continue to vanish into permanent collections, availability drops. Demand does not. Time is doing exactly what it always does to authentic rarity. It multiplies it. For collectors, the message is clear. Respect wartime coins. Respect original toning. Never rush to clean. Learn how to read surfaces and wear honestly. Coins like this reward discipline, patience, and knowledge, not impulse. The conclusion is impossible to ignore. The 1944D Mercury dime with brown spots in very good condition is a hidden treasure that people accidentally lose because they never imagined something so ordinary-looking could hold something so extraordinary. This is not a coin you underestimate. This is a coin you recognize, secure, and hold with conviction. And remember, true coin value delivers freshly updated discoveries every single day, exposing real hidden wealth that most people never realize they're holding. Stay right here, because what this final coin reveals will leave even experienced collectors stunned.